All right, folks, today I want to talk about something that's honestly has me paying very close attention here in Florida. Not messing around with this one. And that's the drought situation. Guys, the drought situation is insane in Florida. I know that this state is known for rain. You know, you always see the images of hurricanes and Florida being the hurricane state. People picture thunderstorms, you know, the Tampa Bay lightning, right? Are named after storms, weather, right? You know, humidity, flooding. People think wet grass constantly in the state of Florida. Okay, honestly, here in Central Florida, it feels like it has barely rained all month. And for us personally, I think we've had maybe one real rain day in the month of May, the whole month of May. I mean, come on. Everything is getting dry. The grass is crunchy. Dust is just everywhere. The ponds are dropping. Wildfire season has honestly started feeling a little scary across parts of Florida. Anytime I see smoke up in the air, I'm like, oh boy, you know, where's it at now? And, you know, even though some areas are finally starting to get small bits of rain, it's very scattered. We're coming up towards June. This is, you know, coming up on actual what they call rainy season in the state of Florida. Officials are actually warning, though, that wildfire threats are still extremely high across most of the state. So today, just want to tell you guys, have a real conversation here about Florida drought. And if where you live, let me know in the comments. You know, it helps get us out there too with that engagement. It's free. Are you in a drought? Are you in a state of drought where you live? Are you guys under watering restrictions? Because we are right now. And where we live, you can only water your property based on your address one day of the week. Now, is anybody honestly enforcing that? Maybe. I bet if you live in an HOA, most likely somebody's enforcing that, right? But and there's the Muscovies I mentioned in one of my other videos. You know, if you're out in the kind of rural area, nobody, you know, people need to water their stuff. You know, nobody's really saying a whole lot about that. But anyway, I think more families need to start paying attention to how dependent modern life really is on stable weather. Because stable weather is seems to be, it's no longer par for the course. Stable weather is kind of a it's not really, it's kind of an oxymoron, right? Stability and weather are not really in the same sentence nowadays. It's just, I don't know. One thing I think people outside Florida don't realize is how quickly conditions can change in Florida. You know, we go from flooding to tropical storms to standing water everywhere to drought and wildfire danger unbelievably fast, okay? Honestly, it's been so dry. If it were to get a good afternoon rain here, it'd probably flood. Do you know why? Because of the way that your soil and your sand and your ground, it's so dry, it can't take in the water fast enough. So anyway, experts are saying that you know, the drought and wildfire danger, that's exactly what's been happening this year in 2026. So parts of Florida, here where I am, has, you know, in 10A, has been dealing with severe drought, extreme drought, and even exceptional drought conditions in some areas that are just, you know, even worse. You know, and that's not just South Florida. We are considered South Florida. I know I say Central Florida, but I think by definition it's technically South. But anyway, it's affecting Central, West, North, you know, the whole state, man. It's becoming statewide. North has been getting a lot of rain, but they're still under drought conditions too. The Panhandle, you know, when you live on a homestead, you feel drought differently. I know, Mitzi, you're a crazy girl. You notice the drought immediately. Your animals notice it. I really preach on redundancy on systems here. It's what we do. So if you got water, standing water, get more, get a second water. Everything needs water. Okay, you start watching your water usage, your feed prices, your pasture quality. Feed's going up. Fertilizer, guys, have you seen the news on fertilizer? It's getting crazy. You know, I mentioned the wildfire conditions, the well systems. I'm getting a little paranoid about that, but so far our well's been good to us since we've moved here. Your ponds, I've seen the ponds are low. Irrigation, like I said, we can only technically by our code right now says one day a week based on the last digit of your address. I'm like, that's insane. We live in Florida, and you can, and the development in the state, let me tell you, they are developing so fast, but we are on water restrictions all the time. How does that make sense to anybody? Let me know. Anyway, it's dry brush and dead vegetation is just become such a real problem. When Florida gets dry, the wildfire danger ramps up. Florida has, according to officials, is already having thousands of fires have already happened in 2026. Some fires have burned tens of thousands of acres here in the state of Florida. And the scary part is people think rainy season automatically fixes that, like I said earlier, but that the way it sits on the ground, nope. Officials are warning that even entering this rainy season, per Fox 13 Tampa Bay, says wildfire season may continue because lightning strikes can actually start the fires even more. So while the vegetation is still dry. So you get this storm to come in, right, to get your ground nice and wet, and then lightning hits. Boom, there goes your wildfire. That's something people don't think about. We're the lightning capital, guys. This is why I always stick to preparedness and why it matters, especially 2026, rolling halfway through the year and going on into 2027 before you know it, guys. Not fear, not panic. It's preparedness. There's a difference there. Huge difference. Just be prepared. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal to get prepared and have those redundant systems. Focus on your animals, because are they freaking out? No. So why should you? Because somebody on YouTube told you to freak out? No, don't, guys. Just focus on your systems. Be prepared. Don't wait until the disaster happens. Make sure you have the redundant water storage, those backup food systems. Make sure you have your orders going on your feed, your various feed for your animals. If you have a generator, make sure it works. Take it out of the box. Your animal feed, like I said, your emergency supplies, antibiotics. There's a lot of people that have kits nowadays. Stock up on those canned goods. I know that sounds very cliche, but rice as well. Rice is a good one, I would say, that comes to mind. Make sure you have your evacuation plans unless you're going to hunker down. Protect that livestock and protect your gardens, because homesteading teaches you, as you do it over the years, it really teaches you to think ahead. One thing I've learned from living this lifestyle is that modern systems are more fragile than people honestly realize, because a couple of bad weather months, boom, major drought right there. A wildfire outbreak, boom. Fuel shortages, power outages. I mean, what is gas now? Like $4.50 a gallon, $4.59 I think I saw. What is diesel? Good grief. If regular unleaded, the cheap unleaded is $4.59, I mean, who's driving a diesel truck these days? Let me know in the comment section below. Suddenly people start to realize how dependent they really are on systems they assumed would always work. That's one reason I believe homesteading is becoming more important this year in 2026. You got to stand up, you got to get up, you got to move, get ready, get prepared. Not because we think we're survival experts, not because we think the world is ending, but because learning basic self-reliance matters. I encourage you to learn how to grow food, raise animals, store some supplies, collect the resources, manage your water, stay calm under stress, okay? I think Florida homesteaders especially need to think more about water more than ever moving forward. I'm not even kidding. I can't believe I'm saying this, especially in Florida when we're surrounded by water, friends. Florida is exploding with growth very quickly. More neighbors, more neighbors, more neighbors, more development, more strain on the infrastructure. I can't believe these politicians are just pushing for growth. And I'm like, and they're really pushing for that. They're like, oh, we have so much untapped land. I'm like, okay, well, your water is tapped. Just walking around this property and just seeing how dry everything is. I try not to let it get too dry, because we have a lot of happy friends here. Okay. It reminds you how much though you really are dependent on rain and those aquifers, right? Because we're on a well. Ultimately, God controls all of it at the end of the day. Hi, Liberty. A pretty girl. I call her Champion. She's super sweet. We can irrigate, we can water, prepare, we can work hard, but rain, guys, God's in control. Okay. I think moments like that humble us. You realize very quickly how little control humans actually have over nature. One thing I will say, I do think Florida is resilient. I think we have good people here in the state of Florida. It's always been good about dealing with hurricanes, droughts, heat, floods, wildfires. If you're from Florida, you're good at adapting. Floridians, I call them Floridian, native Floridians. I'm born and raised here myself. They been there, done that. Okay, that's what we do. But if you're coming from like New York or something, or New Jersey, and you've only been here for 3 years, you're in for a rude awakening. Hopefully these videos help you get prepared. Love thy neighbor, let's help each other out. So I do think now is a smart time for all of us, whether you just got here or you've been here forever. Florida families, evaluate your preparedness. You don't got to be prepared, but ask yourself about those redundant systems. Okay. Can you survive a rough month? Really? Do you have a fire extinguisher on your property? Do you have evacuation? Could you handle power outage? That's a big one that comes to mind, because our power flickers every now and then. And now with these data centers, good grief, the power grids, man. So just let me know in the comments down below, how dry has it been where you live? Are you in Florida? Has your area been getting any rain? Are y'all seeing wildfire smoke? Are conditions getting any worse for you guys? And for all my fellow Florida homesteaders, what preparedness steps are you guys focused on in 2026? If you guys enjoy real homestead content, preparedness, gardening, animals, fruit trees, honest conversations about life out here, rural Florida, make sure you subscribe to DiamondTrail Ranch. We appreciate every single one of y'all. Stay safe out there. God bless. And we will see you in the next video.